So check this out. This is an app from the Oklahoma Department of Transportation, and it's got a listing of all of the signs. It's live, showing the messages that are over the roadway on what's called variable message boards or dynamic message boards. We'll learn about that here in a minute. But all of these are controlled from a room inside the Department of Transportation. It's really interesting the way that it all works and how the messages get from here all the way across the street. Pretty neat, right? Okay, how? I'm here with Alan Stevenson, and we're here in a really cool room. What's it called?
This is actually ODOT's TOC, Traffic Operations Center.
You've got cameras here, I guess, from all across maybe the state. Like what are we kind of looking at here?
This side is the Oklahoma City metro area cameras along the interstate, so we can monitor and see any congestions that come up. Our ITS console down here that shows the traffic speeds and the camera images, so that as speeds drop, we can actually use a camera to see what the incident is or what the situation is, if we have to respond or put a message on the message boards. The message boards are controlled by a program, the vendor's program over here is one methodology in which we control the DMSs. We also have another web application that gets to all the DMSs also.
Well, that's why we're here today. DMS, what does that stand for?
Dynamic Message Board.
Okay, and so that's what you call the thing that sits over the road and it tells drivers, hey, watch out, you know, there may be a wreck ahead, or, you know, what's an example of something you might put up on a message board?
Most of the time we put in things to deal with incidents or construction problems that we want to sit there and notify them of a construction area or an alternate route that we need to be putting up. And then we also, like Wednesdays, we have our Work Zone Wednesday to try to promote and get people to be aware of the work zones and different, you know, safety features of the roads. So,
is that at all automated, or is that something you have to type in?
Well, some of it's a combination of both. The Work Zone Wednesday, since we know what those messages are ahead of time, we can pre-program those. A lot of the messages that, like the travel times, those are pre-programmed, and they use the actual probe data, the speed data, to fill in the information and post that.
That's really cool. So you control it from here. How does it get from here to the sign?
It's a hybrid system. We have fiber to some of our signs. We have microwave links to some of the signs, and then we have cellular connections to some of them. In some ways, in some of the locations, we actually have redundancy, and we have multiple communication mediums so that we can always make sure we can get to that sign.
Right. And how quickly does it update? I'm sure it's just point and click, and there it is, right?
It is. Since it's Ethernet based, network based, it's actually just a matter of a few seconds to update a sign.
Tell me about the quality control that goes into this, because I'm sure you can't just type whatever you want. You know, best practices, making sure that, you know, you have someone here who's just not going to, you know, type out the wrong thing on a message board. It's going to be read by thousands of people. What goes into that?
Well, we have some procedures or protocols in which we like to sit there and make sure we follow. So the Work Zone Wednesday, they typically have a little bit of humor involved in that, but on our standard messages, they're pretty cut and dry. Actually, the software in both of the programs have what we call a inappropriate words list, both in English, Spanish, and a few other off-brands, that if you type any of those in, it won't allow those kind of words to be put in. So those are kind of
one last safeguard, right?
That's right. Yeah.